It's lovely to be with you today and to be able to share a few thoughts about St Aldhelm, the first abbot of Malmesbury, in celebration of his special day on the 25th of this month. I imagine Aldhelm as a larger-than-life, charismatic character, a man as equally at home with the poor and uneducated as he was with eminent scholars and members of the nobility. Described as a tall, cheerful and friendly man, he possessed that rare gift of being able to connect with people of all classes, meeting them on their own terms and at their own level. When we reflect on the impact Aldhelm had on people's understanding and beliefs, we must bear in mind that Christianity was still very new in the Anglo-Saxon world he inhabited. So he was certainly one of the earliest evangelists and missionaries in the borough of Malmesbury and the wider communities of the southwest. Aldhelm, the poet, priest and musician, must have been an enormously colourful and inspirational man. As well as having a great influence on classical scholarship and education, he also composed songs, poems and hymns in his native Anglo-Saxon, and thereby touched the hearts of ordinary people through his music and verse. Indeed, having observed that the local townsfolk weren't very attentive to formal religious instruction, and that attendance at services was not as high as he might have wished, he frequently went out onto the bridge in Malmesbury, playing his harp, singing ballads and hymns, and teaching the Christian faith simply and directly. In the tradition of the minstrels and bards, these songs were handed down orally and continued to be performed in Malmesbury until the 12th century. Sadly, they didn't survive beyond that time. However, what we do still have is Aldhelm's collection of 100 riddles, the Enigmata, written in Latin and part of a long tradition going back to the civilizations of ancient Babylon and Greece, and with examples found in the Bible too. Put simply, a riddle is a puzzle, written to challenge and engage people mentally by representing the familiar material world from an oblique and original angle. For Aldhelm, they became, more importantly, a means of indirectly teaching church doctrine and reinforcing the messages of the Bible. So here is an example, not in Latin. When God's sea punished vile abomination, and water cleansed our sin's contamination, I first fulfilled the Father's proclamation, marking with fruit the start of earth's salvation. So I will bear a heart that is serene, and stay a joyous bird without dark spleen. And the answer, of course, is the dove. This riddle, of course, refers to the story of Noah and the flood, when the dove came to Noah with an olive leaf in its beak, showing that the waters had abated from the earth. Many of Aldhelm's riddles also tell us something about the wonder of creation and the God who created it and rules it. Here is an example. I share now with surf one destiny, in rolling cycles when each month repeats. As beauty in my brilliant form retreats, so too the surges fade in cresting sea. And the answer is the moon. This stunning, beautifully crafted verse hints at the way that the moon governs the ebb and flow of the tides, and is also a lyrical celebration of the wonder and mystery of God's creation. We're going through very difficult and challenging times at the moment. when we cannot get together as an abbey or town community. Like all of us, I miss the physical presence of my family and friends. I miss the steadfast embrace of the abbey, the liturgy that connects us with centuries of worship and prayer. I guess the challenge for us, as it was for Aldhelm, is to find new and innovative ways of communicating and reaching out to one another. For me, some of the things that keep me going are poetry, music, and quiet reflection on the beauty of God's creation as I walk through the fields around my home. I like to think that Aldhelm would have understood and rejoiced in that too.